All right, good afternoon, 12:31 on the clock. Of course, it is still your favorite show right here on your number one talk radio station, the Midday Show on Lagos Talks 91.3. My name is Paula Chine. Welcome back. It is time for parenting today. Now, to everyone who's listening, we all know that you do not have to be a biological parent to play the role of parent in the life of a child or just, a youngster. And when it comes to parenting, it is a never-ending job, one that entails skills, patient effort, and the technical know-how, right? So no one knows it all. No one has it all figured out. But thankfully, we have experts who have gained expertise over time, who have made conscious effort to make sure that, they've cracked certain codes, if not all of these codes, to ensure that we are, left or provided with the much needed know-how as regards parenting. And may I say, it is a lifetime job. Thankfully, I have an expert, someone who's joining me virtually, someone I have missed for the longest time, Yetty Williams. Now, she is the CEO of Lagos Moms, but I feel like she is playing this. She should be the CEO of Global Moms. Now, she's here virtually, and she's going to be here to take us through the show. Good afternoon, Miss Yetty.
Good afternoon, Paula. How are you?
Fine. I last heard from you many moons ago. I hate to say that I missed you, but I did miss you.
I missed you too.
How are you? How is your beautiful family?
We're all doing very well. Thank you. Thank you for asking. What about you?
Oh, we're good. I mean, we're just living one day at a time. You know how it works down here. I can tell. So please, without wasting any time, I know that this is an amazing topic, especially the fact that just by Monday, a lot of state schools are resuming. Summer holidays is over, and the next week after that, federal schools and private schools might be resuming a new session and a new term. So today's topic is preparing for back to school. And it is not just, when we hear back to school, a lot of parents, we've all been guilty of just thinking it's purchasing supplies, getting new sizes of outfits and uniforms and books. But then it goes beyond that. And I'm grateful for the fact that on your page on Instagram, you had it written out clearly that getting children ready for a successful back to school year entails ensuring that their emotional well-being and academic success is also being checked on. So thank you so much, Miss Yetty. If you would kindly go on to, further elaborate on this, we're waiting to hear.
Fantastic. Thanks, Paula. Absolutely. As you said, it's back to school. It's time for school. On one end, you have parents discussing or dealing with paying school fees, based on what's going on and what school you're in.
Exactly.
That school fees have increased, tuition costs have gone up in different places. Also getting children for getting them ready to go back to school comes with cost, right? Preparing for them financially. And obviously, that's also a strain on parents. We can't ignore that is happening. And for some parents, you can feel as if I'm doing all this work to pay for your school fees, you better do well in school. I don't want to hear any story. Just make sure that, your teacher never complains. Even if a child has some concerns with school, if the environment has been set up in such a way where the child feels that, look, mom and dad are going through so much to pay for my school fees, then as a child, they might feel that they can't even come to you and complain if things are not going the way that they expected, or they're not happy about a particular school that they've been put in. So we have to make sure that we're preparing them for back to school. There's the financial part and the functional part, but then I want us to spend this show maybe talking more around the emotional well-being of a child, because if the child is emotionally sound and ready for the next school year, then they're more likely to do well, both on a mental health level and on an academic level.
Oh, that is amazing. Thank you so much for highlighting that. One of the easiest ways to achieve success is to make sure that there is a balance in their emotional well-being and academic well-being. Miss Yetty, you're no stranger to the fact that a lot of parents would say, which one is emotional well-being and a child again? Because people think the word emotional well-being entails, being involved with someone, having emotions for that person. But can you kindly elaborate when you say emotional well-being?
Yeah. So emotional well-being means that, physically we can see what's going on physically. If a child is unwell, you can tell they have a cold or they have sniffles. You can tell. You won't ignore it as a parent. You're going to take them to a doctor and see what's going on. Emotional well-being is usually what you cannot see. You cannot see how a child is feeling on their insides. So in summary, it just means, how are they feeling about the school year coming up? Are they confident? Are they fearful? Are they worried? Are they excited? Okay. Is it a mix of all of that? And it's fine if it's a mix of all of that. For every single child, or let me say for most children, starting a new school year in September typically means that you're going to a new class. True. You are getting new teachers. You are going to have some new students in class. For some children, like my children's primary school, I think it's every 2 years, or is it every year? I can't remember now. They would always rotate the class. So there wasn't always, so you didn't mean that the same people you entered primary 1 with are the same people you finish primary 6 with. And as a parent, I remember initially, it used to give me anxiety, like, so they won't know who's in their class. They're always going to have to make new friends. But I very quickly saw that actually it was a healthy way for a child to always go to school knowing that they're going to mix things up, and then they are learning the skill of making friends constantly. So, there are a lot of emotions that a child is going to have going into a new class, new teachers and all of that. Then for some children, they're going to a new school altogether. And there are people who are maybe going from primary to secondary.
Exactly.
Right? They might be moving schools altogether. So it's a whole new school, uniform, set of operation. Everything is different. Some children are moving countries. So there's a lot of change that can be happening. And the best way for a parent to ensure that a child is ready to face that is to first of all realize that, where does my child fall? Does my child fall under possibly having some questions, anxiety, fear, worry, excitement, or all of the above, because they are moving to a whole new school? Then you don't want to assume that they are fine. Have a conversation with them. Say, how are we doing? Are you ready for the fact that maybe it's on Monday, you're resuming and you're going to a whole new school? How are you feeling about it? Okay. And let them tell you how they're feeling. That's part of emotional well-being. If they say, Mom, I'm so excited, but I'm actually a little worried though, because what if I don't make friends? Okay. What if nobody talks to me on the first day? The way you respond to that emotion can make all the difference between a child feeling more confident or feeling as if their feelings don't matter.
Oh, wow. All right. Now, Miss Yetty, I have someone here by the name of Temilolua, and she's saying, good afternoon, great ladies. Please, how do you recognize the signs of your child not being fine emotionally? I don't know if that, maybe she meant say like your child's emotional well-being, if it's not up to par.
Right. Yeah. So if what I'm hearing is somebody who wants to make sure that he or she is identifying the signs that maybe your child is struggling emotionally. And it's a great question, because many times if you don't know what red flags look like, you might not even know that a child is maybe struggling with something. So the best thing is to realize, first of all, pay attention to the base case. Like, how is your child regularly? If your child, for example, is already a quiet child, but you find that they are a bit more reserved.
Yeah, it is worrisome.
Yes. If you notice changes in a child's mood or a child's behavior or what's typical for your child, you are noticing certain differences, then you want to pay attention to what might be going on and then have a conversation.
Oh, wow.
I'll share a bit one personal example that happened recently.
Okay.
I noticed that my son, he was wearing like a sweater and it was quite warm. So I remember thinking, why would you be wearing a sweater when the weather is quite warm. Is anything going on that I should know about? I did it in a bit of a joking way. But at first he said nothing. But I said, no, that you shouldn't be wearing sweater when it's hot like this, especially you that I know, you get hot quite quickly. Do you know that opened up a whole conversation that I didn't even really know what was going on?
Oh, really?
And I'm not even sure for him, he knew what was going on. It was in his subconscious. But it was because I asked, it triggered something. And then we had a whole conversation around what he didn't even know was the reason why he was wearing a sweater.
Oh, wow. But, I love the fact that, it takes a parent who's approachable and understanding to actually set this off. And just the fact that, you were able to identify something that was unusual. And this, created a safe place for him to actually delve deeper and even realize that, oh, Mom, there could be something more to it. So that is amazing.
And to that point, it really comes down to the tone and the relationship parents have built with the child. All of these things we are saying of identify changes, being able to talk to a child about how they're feeling about the school year. If you are a parent that's always aggressive and I hope you are ready, or you make sure you better, and you come and now say, hey, I heard on radio, they said I should talk to you about how school is. Are you ready? Hello?
Wow.
That's all I say.
All right, Miss Yetty, I have such a sad, I don't want to say it's a sad message, but there is a message that just popped up right here. And before I go further, for those who are listening, this is Parenting Today, where we find out how we can be greater parents. It is a never-ending job. You need to find out as much details as you can. Ignorance is expensive, and this could be at the detriment of your child. So if you want to make sure that you're doing things right, no one is perfect, but just be on the right path. Make sure that you do not miss this program. I'm here with a parenting expert, Miss Yetty Williams, the CEO of Lagos Moms. If you want to join the conversation, please do so. First off, we're on X, formerly known as Twitter. You can tweet at us using the hashtag Parenting Today. Our handle is at Lagos Talks 913. You can also join via WhatsApp, which I'm seeing about 2 messages. Wow, I like the engagement today. So for WhatsApp, the number is where you can call, text, or send a voice note. The number for WhatsApp 0809-234-5913. I'll take it again, 0809-234-5913. If you want to call, you can call on 0809-222-0913. 0809-234-5913. And the women only line for the moms, the aunts, the grandmothers, any woman who is planning, even if you're just, a baby girl and you feel like I still have time left, it's good to plan ahead, right? You can call on the women only line 0809-191-3913. All right. I have a message here, Miss Yetty. It says, my husband and I got separated in February of this year due to dishonesty. We have 2 daughters. Now, my second daughter is fine and life has moved on. She's aged 6. However, my eldest daughter, who is 13, has lost so much weight and isn't doing well at school. How can I help her?
Wow, sorry to hear that.
That is Ezine from Ogudu, by the way.
Okay. First of all, thank you for putting that question out there and recognizing that something is going on. Obviously that's a big change for your children. Separation for children is always going to be difficult. Even the child that seems to have bounced back and be fine at 6 years old, you never know if and when something might, come up or not come up. But what you must do is don't ignore it. She's losing weight. She's not doing well in school. You want to identify exactly what is going on and have an open conversation with her. You don't know whether it's the school. You don't know whether it's something at school. You don't actually know whether it's the separation that's affecting her. Maybe she's missing, I don't know who she's with. Is she missing the other parent that she's not living with? There could be a lot going on. So the best thing you can do is prayerfully just set the tone, have a conversation with her, share your concerns, let her know that she can tell you anything, and then ease into listening to her without judgment or interruption. And even if she's to tell you, Mom, everything is fine, but deep down you know it's not, don't pressure her. Don't keep going on but I know everything is not fine. Why are you not talking to me? Badgering the child is not going to help the child open up. So
Oh,
you need to
wow.
just very patiently give that child time to open up and let you know. If she has already resumed school, it's very important to then that you speak to the, either her class teacher or whoever is pastoral care in the school to say there's been a change in the family. I feel like I'm seeing changes in my daughter, and I would like to also have you keep an eye out. So that way you have two sides that are helping to support, what might be going on and what the changes are that she's facing or struggling with.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I have another message here from Tinuke from Yaba. So Tinuke says, good afternoon. My son and I are moving to the UK to join his dad and his older siblings in about a month. He has been unhappy because he feels he'll miss his friends in our neighborhood. For me, I feel he's just being a spoiled child. But this show is making me have second thoughts right now. That is Tinuke from Yaba.
Can I just give Tinuke a hug? Because thank you for saying that.
Second thoughts. Yeah.
Thank you for realizing that, what, actually,
it could be more.
Those labels we put that we just think he's being spoiled. No, he's legitimately going through emotions that are very valid. He's leaving home. He's leaving the friends he knows. He's going to a new country, new environment. I don't even know how old he is. If she wants to quickly type out old, that would be great to even, make this conversation a bit more specific. But no matter the age he is, he's going through the fact that something big is changing in his life. And while on one end, you're thinking he should be happy and thankful that he's going, he's a human being and he has every right to feel this way. So it's not to say you're not going, but it's to acknowledge how he's feeling and then to take steps to say, you know what, I understand how you're feeling, and talk about it one by one. Discuss some of the things that he can continue to do when he gets here. So for example, nowadays with social media, video calls, he can stay in touch with his friends, right? So you want to help him realize that I see you, I hear you. Now let's talk about how we're going to make this a bit easier for you. And by the way, please reach out to me on DM on Instagram, because we have a group in the UK called Lagos to London Moms UK. And we talk about things like this. Don't ignore the fact that changing location is a huge adjustment for a family. And if you don't have the right support, it can be really challenging. Even for mom and dad, you think you'll be fine, you've come, but you're in a new environment and you're like, what is going on? Why do I feel like this? It's nice to have other people who understand that Nigerianness that we have in common.
I tell you, I love the fact that, most of your topics and your take on them are pretty much relatable. It's not far-fetched. It's not something that's not practical within our culture or society for those who believe in, being custodian and culture and upholding tradition. I have a very interesting one here, Miss Yetty. I wouldn't lie. I was trying not to chuckle. It's not that it's bad, but it's from a man. Now here it is. This is Paul from Ikotun Egbe. My question for Mrs. Yetty is that when raising boys to men, how can a father care for their emotional well-being but ensure they're raised as strong men, not weak men? Good work you're doing.
Oh, I love that question. I love the question. Number one, the fact that his father is asking, he's already on the right path. Can we just clap for him there?
Daddy!
Because receive your flowers, receive your bell, or whatever. Because the truth is, we've misunderstood the fact that a strong person means that they are not in touch with their emotions. It's a misunderstanding that being a strong person means that you are not in touch with your emotions. No. Who says, there's no emotion that's gender specific. Is a woman not allowed to be angry?
Wow.
She is. Is a man not allowed to be emotional or feel sad? Absolutely. It's what you do with the emotions that matter. So you can absolutely raise men who are independent, who are strong, who have a sense of responsibility, but who can do all of that and be a leader with empathy. It is possible. So you teach them to use their words, to be respectful to each other, to be respectful to you, to have a good relationship with you, to talk based on how they are feeling, then help them deal with those feelings. I think when children can name emotions, name how they feel, and then learn how to react positively, that is an emotional intelligence that grows with them into adulthood. Then no matter what they face as a man, they're better able to react. They're not going to shout or lash out or, do all those things that we call being a boy. But actually, it's just not being able to manage emotions.
Wow. But I want to ask you, what is this thing about raising strong men? Does that count? Like for me, it feels like, oh, you're beat to raise strong men. Sometimes do we mistakenly try to alter their persona, or do we treat them hard and brash? Something that could damage them for the longest time.
Some things are just cultural labels. I feel that we've just carried along. It's like when they say, oh, I want to raise, a woman that knows how to care for the home. Or I want to make sure that she's a good mother. Sometimes we say these labels without really saying, what does it mean, for example, to be a good mother? Is it giving birth? And then, feeding the child breast milk to 6 months. My point is, what does it mean? So even raising a strong man, when you ask people, what does it mean to you to raise a strong man? Many people can't say. But if you can identify, well, strong man means that he's resilient.
Okay.
Yeah. He can deal with challenges that comes his way. He's a critical thinker.
Okay.
He cares about people.
Okay.
That for me, strength is that ability. And I'm a Christian. So I look at it and I say, Jesus was a strong man, but he had empathy.
Compassion, exactly.
Compassion. So we need to be able to identify, what does strong mean to you? And this gentleman sounds like he has more than one son. What does strength mean to you? Look forward to those boys when they are men. What do you want for them? Identify those things and then start working backwards and say, how can I implement it? I'm not big on labels, because I feel that we have labels, but usually when we ask, what does strong man mean? Most people cannot say what they mean. If you cannot identify what it means or break it down, how can you teach it? How can you raise boys to become that?
Oh, wow. All right, Miss Yetty, I have one message here, and I feel like this is different from what we're talking about, but do you mind if we take it on WhatsApp?
Sure, go ahead. Let's see what it is.
Okay, so it says, Lagos Talks, good morning. I just got married to my husband. He's a father to one girl who's aged 11. His ex-wife passed away in 2019. But his daughter is rude and hateful towards me. I've only been married for 8 months. I'm currently pregnant and I'm getting fed up. My husband says I should be patient, but I'm unhappy. Please give me some encouraging words. Thank you, Miss Yetty. All right.
Wow. That's a big one. And once again, I want you to know that what you're going through and what your, I don't even call her your stepdaughter, your daughter is going through. It's normal. Unfortunately, she's lashing out because she's going through emotions that maybe she hasn't had the best experiences with dealing with those emotions. So I don't know the history. Okay. I don't know when she met you. I don't know when you suddenly became a new mom for her. If she's 11 and she lost her mom in 2019, she was old enough to know that she had another mother.
Okay.
So you've come in, you're a new mom, you're a new person in her life. In her mind, you've come to take her dad away. So there's a lot of emotions she's dealing with. I'm not excusing her behavior, and I'm not saying she has the right to be rude and all of those things, but you're going to need to work together so that there is a healthy bond between you, her dad, and her sibling that's coming into the family. I'm just sending you encouragement to say what you're going through is not unusual. However, it would be great for you to get support, external support if you need to help your family navigate this stage so that you can build the building blocks for, future success and thriving together. So please feel free to get in touch with me if you want to. I know we can't cover everything on this short term.
I know, and that's one of my problems. It's like, why? I'm sorry. It's like, why? I wish it was like an hour or an hour and a half. Now, Miss Yetty, I want to quickly ask you, for this lady who's pregnant and who's feeling fed up, is there any way her husband can, as the father of this child who has been with him her whole life, is there any way he can probably help? He's just told her to be patient. Do you think there's anything he can do? Perhaps she should suggest it to him.
Yes, there's so much. Honestly, because I can't fully unpack it, I don't know what my question would be. What happened prior to him saying I do to somebody else? How did he carry his daughter along without knowing that it's difficult to say? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Did he carry her along in a way that she was also excited that a new mom is coming into her life? Or was it just suddenly she met a new person? This is your new mom. Call her mommy. So I don't know. but there's a lot of things he must do. He can't hand everything off, and neither can he just say, be patient. Patience is not enough.
Exactly.
There needs to be work on everybody's part. That's why I'm asking her to please get in touch, because there's a lot of stuff you can both do. But rather than prescribing, tell your husband to also tell that's not going to necessarily work without understanding the dynamics around this family unit.
Oh, wow. All right. So perhaps they have to, just take out some time, and it will require a lot of patience. But, when you're pregnant, you're experiencing different emotions. It's easy to just feel like throwing the towel in. But just hang in there, lady. Just hang in there. It's going to be fine. Miss Yetty, you're amazing. Sending you hugs. So if you do not mind, can you just kindly summarize? Because someone here by the name of Frank says, I just tuned in. Please, did I miss so much? No, you didn't miss so much.
Like we've had quite a rich conversation today, but let's just summarize. We're talking about preparing children for back to school.
That's right.
And making sure that they're emotionally ready. As well to be academically ready for school. Some of the things you can start to do. School starts on Monday or within the next week or two. Start by establishing routines. Get your child ready again for routines, because remember, it's not just them starting school. You two are starting school. Essentially, you're waking up early, getting them to school. So start to get back into a sense of routines from now, going to bed earlier, things like that. You want to develop positive thinking, habits with your children now. So have conversations around, what is their new term, new year looking like for them, and how are they feeling? Are they excited? Are they worried? Are they anxious? Is it a mix of everything? No matter the emotion they have, listen to them and talk about it with them. So if a child comes, legitimately has the worry that, I'm going to a new school and I have no friend. What if nobody speaks to me? You can talk about social skills. Be like, yes, well, that's a fear. What if you get there and immediately you meet somebody that you like? Why don't you get ready to go into class with the mindset that you are going to make the great friends and you're going to attract the right people that day? When you get to school in the morning, have a big smile, say hello. Do you see how you can change that anxiety to, actually, it's true. What if the opposite happens, right? So develop those positive thinking, support their mental health, which really comes to being able to talk and understand how they are feeling, and then get ready for that. And lastly, you want to make sure that you're getting them ready back into the mood of being in school. A lot of teachers will say that the first week or 2 or 3 of school, they are really just getting everybody back into a routine. Some children who didn't do any engaged learning at all over the summer, they're usually the ones that come back and they really struggle to get back into that reading a book, doing homework. So as parents at home, I know it might be Monday, your child is starting school. It doesn't matter. Today is Thursday. Between now and Monday, you can still do some things to get them back into that learning mode.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Miss Yetty. You're amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time out to explain these things to us. I'm here. Fikayomi says, hello, crew. Hello, Lagos Talks crew. Good afternoon. Please, can she let us know how we can get to her? Yes, she's going to let you know right now. But first off, I must say thank you for always enriching us with your knowledge, your expertise. Trust me, you make me want to have 100 kids, but you adopt like 98. You leave 2 for me. Thank you so much, Miss Yetty. It's great to have you back on the show. Miss Yetty, by the way, is the CEO of Lagos Moms. It's an amazing platform. I've been at one of their events.